All right, what do we got here?
This is
Whoa.
Saranda, Albania. It's on the coast right next to Greece. Amazing location. It felt just like Greece, but a third of the price, like the food, the lifestyle, everything. But this is like a compound. It's got 11 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, 550 meters squared. It's in a great location too, right next to the city center of Saranda. Obviously, you're in walking distance to the beach. This is going for 500,000 euros. So what, 520 grand?
Nick, what's the political climate there?
There's a lot of corruption with the Albanian mafia, but they don't really do it in Albania. They do it outside. They have like a lot of strength in Europe when it comes to like drug trafficking. But yeah, the mafia owns the government, but they love Americans. You get a 1 year visa on arrival, so you can practically stay there as long as you want and just go out after a year and come right back in. People are super nice. It's extremely safe. There's no issues whatsoever.
It's 5,300 square feet, by the way. But look at the
Wow.
the views of the water too. See, Andy, I just like to see the water. I don't have to go play in it.
Roman mosaics. Obviously, this one's more new, but I think that's
Wow.
pretty neat. Do you see it down there?
Yeah. So, Andy, would you throw a flyer for 500 grand at something like this?
What?
A flyer, like, hey, it's 500 grand. Let's try it with a couple friends. It's 125,000 a piece type thing. That's only 400, but 150,000 a piece. You got a place to go hang out in Albania. I don't know, Nick. What's the travel like to get there?
Yeah, so there's actually an airport. There's a Greek island nearby that's really famous. I'm blanking on the name. So you fly in there and then you take a 30-minute ferry to Saranda. Otherwise, there's an airport in Tirana, which is the capital, and that's 5 hours away by drive. But everyone just flies into the international airport in Greece nearby. I was going to say this too. I didn't mention this. So this Albanian coast, Albania was shut off to foreigners for like 40 years. And it wasn't until like the last like 5 years, 5, 10 years, like tourism is actually starting to be their focus. I was staying in a really amazing 2 bedroom place with unreal views, 10-minute walk to the beach for $500 a month in a similar location. And I really think in the next 2, 3 years, this coast is going to be like just attacked with tourism because the rest of the Mediterranean is quite expensive. So if you did buy something like this, I mean, you could rent out a lot of those bedrooms for a lot of money.
I was listening to this one guy that has a podcast, and he was telling me this almost exact thing. It came up when you started talking about that it was cut off to the tourists 30, 40 years ago. And then all of a sudden, what's going to happen if they do that again, if they cut us off? And Mr. Prasky, you're the guy that said that, and you've talked about that, but it's true. It's kind of like, what if they say, "Hey, no more American tourists"? Well, what I own the place. What can you do?
Not anymore, Chris. We also own your offshore oil rigs, and we took all you got. I don't know if you remember Google ad from Mexico. This was back in the '80s, I believe, and they did the same thing where they said, "All right, no foreign owners. I mean, corporations, individual owners." So you want to be in a country where if you're investing in a foreign place, you want to have that fee simple where you actually own the deed. It's protected, it's insured. And, like Belize does that. And there's a lot of countries in Central and South America that have that where you can actually own it and be a foreign owner. And there's no way to identify you as a foreign owner.
The good piece about the good part about the Balkans is that they're all trying to get into the EU. So they're going to play every rule by their book because if you get into the European Union, obviously your wages go up. A lot of good things happen for your citizens, and they can freely travel in between countries and work and live. So I think Albania is a decently safe bet. I think the mafia wants to get that country, wants foreign investment in there. I don't think you have to worry too much about that, but you're right, Andy. Definitely like where you're at in Cancun. If you go a couple hours down south to Tulum, which is super famous now, 10, 15 years ago when it was just naked beach with hammocks out there, a bunch of French people bought up land and they created hotels. I think in the last 5, 10 years, the cartel just took them. And then there's a huge battle between the embassies, and they might have gotten something from it because it was the Mexican government and the French government going at it, saying like, you just can't do that, But the problem is like the deeds, like you said. So if it's a tourist and you're dumb, you don't have someone local that's helping you,